It was due on a Monday in 2009, The History of Everyday Miracles, a book I borrowed during the semester. I nearly quit college. Finals week, fluorescent lights, cheap noodles. I read it at 2 a.m., while the world outside kept sleeping responsibly. It wasn't special at first, just essays about small moments, a fisherman saving a bird, a nurse singing in an elevator, a stranger giving their coat away. But one story changed everything. A woman who said she stayed alive because she didn't want to disappoint the librarian who'd recommended her next book. It sounded absurd. Then it didn't. At that time, I was failing everything: courses, relationships, self-respect. The book made me cry, not because it was brilliant, but because it didn't try to fix anything. It just said, miracles don't always look like rescue. Sometimes they look like repetition. When I tried to return it, the library had closed for renovation. A handwritten sign said, "Reopening Fall, 2010. I kept the book on my nightstand, meaning to return it. Later. Fall came. Life didn't go according to the syllabus. I dropped out, worked 3 jobs, slept 4 hours, learned that adulthood is mostly about rent and resilience. The book stayed with me moving box to moving box like a roommate who never complained. Every so often, I'd reread the chapter about the nurse singing in the elevator and feel lighter without knowing why. 10 years later, I finally went back. The library had a new wing, new paint, same smell of dust and hope. I stood at the counter, book in hand, rehearsing an apology for being a decade late. The librarian, being scanned it, frowned, then smiled. "This one's been off the catalog since 2012, she said. "We thought it was lost." "It was," I admitted. "So was I." She looked at the inside cover where my name was scribbled in pencil. "Keep it," she said. "You're part of its history now." I walked out lighter than late fees could explain. A week later, I started volunteering at that same library. I shelved books, wiped tables, learned the quiet choreography of belonging. One evening, a college student asked if I could recommend something hopeful but not fake. I handed her The History of Everyday Miracles. She smiled. "You've read it?" "Many times," I said. "Just don't be in a rush to return it." Over the next months, I realized miracles weren't just in stories. They were in patience, in listening, in letting someone keep a book too long, in showing up without fanfare. I began leaving little notes and returned books. This one helped me once. Maybe it will help you too. Sometimes they stayed, sometimes they vanished like kindness itself. Children discovered stories I once found unbearable. Young adults lingered in corners I once avoided. I watched people stitch their own small recoveries between shelves, and it felt like participating in a quiet revolution of hope. I found myself grateful not just for the book, but for the librarian's faith in holding on, for the library's silence that made room for my life to catch up. One evening, a storm blew through, rattling windows and sprinkling leaves across the floor. I looked at the bookcase, the same book in my hands, and understood. Some things don't return because they were never meant to leave us entirely. Years from now, I imagine someone opening that very volume, scribbled name inside, and smiling, and I feel certain they'll understand the patient, invisible work that makes ordinary days miraculous. Some borrowed things aren't meant to be returned. They're meant to stay until you've learned what they came to teach. And sometimes, they teach long after you thought you were ready.